Alright, welcome back to another 1 to 110 guide for smithing in RuneScape 3. I will go through all the items that will increase XP per hour for smithing and the various methods to 110, including some of the fastest but most expensive, slower but more profitable, and AFK methods. Items and gear. Okay, for items and gear, if you can get your hands on the Blacksmith's outfit, it will give you a 1 to 6% XP boost while trading smithing. The perfect juju or the plus variant, I wasn't using this one for a while, but really is worth using it for the 5% chance to give you double progress. Augmented crystal hammer, this one is good for the perks you can add. I'll list the best perks to add to this a bit later. Also you can siphon it for the bonus invention XP. Smithing Autoheater, this one is awesome as you can set it to heat the items back up to 30% when they reach 0, which then brings me to the advanced smithing Autoheater, which is even better as you can set it to overheat mode, which does use quite a lot of coal at 50% per proc to heat the metal back to 60%. You can get this from the Dungeoneering rewards in Daemonheim. Just make sure you have the coal in your metal bank and it will use it from there. It can get a bit expensive, 20k GP per use. I just set this to normal mode as it is cheaper usually, even though it is slower. The Powerburst of Masterstroke. You can sip this every 2 minutes to give you a crazy XP boost for 10 times the XP for the next 4 swings. You just have to remember to drink it. That's the main XP boosting items. You can also use the following more generic XP boosts. There are a ton of these ones, so I'll skip through some of the secondary ones quickly. Superheat Form. If you use this one, it will allow you to smelt faster and reduce the low heat penalty. It does consume prayer points, but you can combine the Grace of the Elves with an ancient elven ritual shard to stop the prayer drain. The Lumite Injector. You can get these as a reward from the Artisan's Workshop in Falador. If you go to the popular skilling worlds, these are usually already activated. It gives you 1+ progress per swing. The Scroll of Efficiency is a one-time use item from Dungeoneering rewards that adds 2% chance per bar to refund that bar while smithing. The Varrock Armour for the chance of increased progression. Smelting Gauntlets when smelting bars to send them directly to the metal bank. Brooch of the Gods gives 20% from smithing ceremonial swords and repairing the pipes at the Artisan Workshop. Also, if you have the Brooch, you can add the smithing urns for a bit more XP, as these ones fill up as you smith, giving some free XP. The 99 Smithing Cape perk gives extra progress after reheating an item. You can use the Brawling Gloves for smithing as well, as they give 50 to 75% XP, but they do degrade to dust once all the charges are gone. The Orthen Furnace Core can be used for a 5% XP buff when the Breakdown perk activates. And finally, the Scripture of Elidinus spawns a soul that when caught gives additional XP. Augment Perks. If you have 22 invention, you can create the Hammertron, which also unlocks the augmented crystal hammers. Use a tool gizmo on the augmented hammer to give it perks. The best perks for the hammer are Tinker 4, which gives 8% chance of double progress, and Rapid 4, which has 20% chance of double progress, but the heat is lost twice as fast. If you can't get the max augments, just get a lower rank of Tinker or Rapid. Generic XP boosts. There are quite a few generic XP boosts, but I will split these into a separate video and link it, as it is the same for all skills. Queuing items to smith. This is a simple technique, but if you're smithing a bunch of items, you can create a few of the same item and just let it AFK at the anvil, especially if you have the auto heater on overcharge. Just click on the forge and create the item, and then right click again and create another of the same item, and you will get several of those that will queue up. Once you finish smithing one, it will just switch to the next one. Alright, onto the leveling methods for smithing. There are actually quite a few ways to level smithing. The fastest and most expensive method is by far forging burial armor. I'll go through some of the options and then you can skip to that section or just keep watching depending on which method sounds the best for you. The good thing about smithing is that it is quite AFK once you're set up. I think my favorite method is just go mine a ton of ores and then make them into bars and then make some Platebodies. So the main methods are burial armor sets, which is the fastest, corrupted ore, smelting bars, and forging Platebodies. Levels 1 to 29, you can get level 1 to 29 doing the quest, the Knight's Sword. If you're just starting out with smithing, go over and do the Knight's Sword quest, which will get you to 29 smithing in one go. If you don't like questing, just smelt bars until 29. Smelting bars is very profitable and slow. Even if you buy the ores you need, you can make over 1 billion GP using this method from 1 to 110. You can just go from 1 to 110 smelting bars, make sure you have the smelting gauntlets, that's so it auto banks the ores, and then you just have to click every 145 seconds to create the bar. Click and then space. The good thing about creating bars is that you will get bonus bars about 10% of the time, so an extra 100 bars for every 1000 ores once you hit this smithing level for the extra bar bonus per ore. Rather than listing all the bars you should be using per level as it's a bit boring, you can pick each bar level every 10 levels, bronze, iron, steel, etc. all the way up to primal bars. You can see the bars and levels on the screen here. This method will take you approximately 865 hours from 1 to 110 if you switch bars every 10 levels, which is about 37 days or so, clicking every 145 seconds. Primal bars are still running at a loss, so it might be better to stick with Elder Rune bars if you're doing this method for profit. From 90 to 100 on Elder bars, you can make about 1.1 billion GP, and that's if you buy the ores. If you go mine them, then it's all profit. Recently, while writing these guides, I actually mined 10k dark and light animica ores, and we'll be smelting these into bars for the juicy profits. Even doing Bane bars from 80 to 90 will give you 260 mil if you sell the bars. Anyway, on to the next method. Forging Platebodies is fairly fast, and also you make your money back from selling them usually, depending on the armor type. Some of them are a bit hard to sell as there is not much demand for Platebodies unless it's the Elder Rune ones, and even they don't usually sell very fast. Making the Platebodies is nice in AFK if you have the smithing Autoheater. Just queue up a bunch of the Platebodies and make sure you have enough coal and ore in the metal bank and you're good to AFK. Just do the max level armor for your smithing level and you're good to go. Here is a quick level guide if you want to forge armor to 110. So from 1 to 29 do the Knight's Sword quest. If you buy and smell the ore into bars, it will save you some GP, or mining it will save even more. Also make sure the armor up to the plus level mentioned. If you want a faster method, you can buy the second highest plus level and just do the final plus level, as it does give more XP. 29 to 30 make steel Platebodies with 10 steel bars. 30 to 40 mithril Platebody or chain body plus 2, you will need 200 mithril bars. Cheaper to buy mithril ore and smelt it than bars. 40 to 50, moving on to adamant Platebody or chain body plus 2, 380 bars will be needed and will cost about 2 million GP. 50 to 60 onto rune bars, you can do rune Platebody or chain body plus 3 here, 720 rune bars are needed. 60 to 70 onto the ore that I can't pronounce, which is orichalcum. Platebody plus 3 here will need 1344 orichalcum bars. 70 to 80 necronium bars, smith and necronium Platebody up to plus 4 using 2560 necronium bars. 80 to 90 Bane bars. Do the plus 4 Platebodies from base, it will use 4880 Bane bars. 90 to 99, this is onto Elder, and this one can be quite expensive if you're buying the materials. Around 7840 Elder Rune bars are needed. 4 Elder Rune Platebodies plus 5, but these ones should sell okay eventually on the GE if you're not doing the burial armor. And grats on 99. 99 to 100. To get to 100, you can keep doing the Elder Rune Platebodies before moving on to Primal Armor at level 100. 100 to 110, Primal Armor is a bit of a pain, as the bars need 10 ores to smelt, so the bar price is still quite expensive. So if you want to keep the cost down, mine the ores and smelt the Primal bars. If you do want to buy them, you can, but it will cost a small fortune. We need to get 24,346,501 XP, so you can basically pick the primal item you want to smith here. Platebodies, picks. If you want to make the Platebody, they give 7k each, and that costs 5 primal bars. So we'll need 3,478 and 17,390 primal bars. Considering a primal bar is worth 25k, that is about 444 mil GP of bars. Forging burial armor, the fastest way to level. From level 40 you can start making burial armor sets. This is the fastest way to level smithing, but at the cost of a lot of GP as the materials and armor are consumed, so you don't get any return on your materials. Here are some of the basics of burial armor forging. Burial smithing is twice as fast for the same amount of XP when creating the item. You have to use the highest tier of the item when using burial forge and anvil. For example, Elder Rune Platebodies need to be at tier 5 before they can be used as burial armor. There is no additional bar cost for burial forging items, but the item is destroyed. Depending on the item you are forging, you can get upward of 1 million XP per hour. If you smith a full burial set, you do get an extra 5% XP. If you level from 40 to 110 using the burial armor method, each level range use the highest tier of armor available. You only need to do just over 260 full sets. I'll go through the sets and the approximate costs if you have a lot of spare cash for this method to buy all the sets or have saved up your items. All of the prices mentioned are approximate. Also, if this guide is helping you out, please consider subscribing or even becoming a channel member to support the channel. 40 to 50, 15 sets of adamant will get you to level 50 at a cost of about 3.5 mil GP. At 50, switch to Rune Burial set. You will need another 15 sets to get to 60 for 8.8 million GP. At 60, it's the Orichalcum set, which you'll need 27 sets to get to 70 for about 19.4 mil GP. 26 Necronium sets are needed to get to 80, getting a bit pricey here at 61 million GP. 48 Bane sets will get you to 90 for 127 mil. Now the really expensive, but not the most expensive, Elder Rune Burial Armour sets. It's sad to see them all go, really. 45 sets will set you back around 368 million and get you to level 100. And for the final pain in the virtual GP wallet to get to 110 with Primal Armour sets is a crazy 1.23 billion GP, as you will need 87 sets for this final grind. I checked this figure again on another calculator and it was actually 210 Primal Burial Platebodies for 1 billion GP, so not exactly sure of the total amount. I think that is Platebodies versus armor sets. So if you do this from level 40, you're up for about 1.8 billion. If you have a spare 1.8 bill GP and want nothing but XP in return, then you are richer than me. Let me know in the comments if you are going to use this method and how fast it actually is. Corrupted ores. I think there is still one final method I have not yet covered, and that is corrupted ore. You can get these little ores from the Seren stones in Prif, which is a bit of a pain to get to in the first place, and you can't unlock them until level 89 when you can get into Prif. This is kinda just a convenient add-on to the AFK mining Seren stones. You accumulate the corrupted ores. You can also get them as random rewards from other tasks. Smithing corrupted ores can give you between 240k and 345k XP per hour, and more with the voice of Seren and mining urns. Other methods. Clan Citadel. I forgot this one on some of my previous guides, but camping the Clan Citadel doing the smithing bars, while it's not very AFK, can give you some nice free XP here once a week. If you have max fealty, you can get a bonus 342k smithing XP. Protein bars. If you have any spare protein packs or bars from Treasure Hunter, these can be used for quite a large chunk of XP. Make sure you use the smithing brawling gloves for this. Money making in smithing. If you want to level smithing and also concentrate on money making, there are quite a few methods that can provide XP and also some cash. Here are the top 5 methods and the amount they can make. Smithing Orichalcum bars can make you 3.8 mil per hour. Smithing Masterwork armor is 4.6 mil per hour. Smithing Glorious bars can make you 5.9 mil per hour. Smithing Necronium bars is 6.3 mil per hour. And finally, the top money making method for smithing is Smelting Elder Rune bars is 10.1 mil per hour, and it is semi-AFK in that you can click them and wait 145 seconds and then click again. One of the other methods is smelting Cannonballs, but this one is only 3.7 mil per hour. But you can do this at lower levels, so only 35 smithing is required. So there it is, smithing. Hopefully this guide helps you out. If it did, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.